U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
Holy shit.
YouTube's ready to give it. And
we got nukes that could.
You're riding it too hard.
At the same time, we're the United States of America, for God's sake.
Take out all that shit, though. Years and years of work down the drain. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah,
that's right. Let's go nuke them. Let's go Duke Nukem mode. YOLO.
My resolution? Airstrikes. Bomb them.
So let's
bomb them. Keep bombing them. Bomb them
Israel
again
has become
and
the second
again.
country in history to use nuclear weapons in war, and the first to do so as an initial preemptive strike. The target? Iran. Most of Tehran, its greater metro area, and even its suburbs have been vaporized or reduced to smoldering rubble.
Wait, hang on.
They're saying this is what would happen if Israel used nukes as they...
No, hang on. It's starting the war with Iran with a first nuclear strike.
It's an opening nuclear strike is what they're saying. Is that Israel is going to first strike Iran with a nuclear weapon.
And break the nuclear taboo.
What a moron.
Millions are dead.
Israeli F-35 is specifically built to be able to fly to Iran on one tank and drop a penetrator on their nuclear sites. They're not set up to fly to Iran and drop nukes. That's the missions they're prepped for is counter-nuclear. So
being exposed to lethal doses of radiation, and still more are suffering life-threatening burns. Israel's only remaining ally, the United States, continues to stand by Israel's preemptive nuclear strike. The U.S. has warned Iran that any retaliation will be met with, in the president's words, overwhelming response, and that the U.S. will, quote, turn the country into glass. We may be looking at nuclear winter as Israel continues to lash out.
Type shit. You think the United States is going to stand by Israel after they use a nuke?
Yeah, there's no fucking way. As I was saying with Russia and Putin, if Putin uses a nuke, he loses all international support. He becomes an island. Nobody is supporting someone after that.
Like, not only, like, especially breaking the nuclear taboo. Like, that's not beneficial for the United States.
Not at all.
Obviously, this isn't happening right now, at time of recording. But this scenario isn't as far-fetched as you might think. A 2013 study set out to understand the medical consequences of a nuclear exchange between Iran and Israel in the near future, with a focus on the distribution of casualties in urban environments. Academics have been taking this scenario seriously for over a decade.
Oh shit, new IDF tweet. Approximately 40 launches were identified crossing the Lebanese territory, some of which were intercepted. The IDF aerial defense array successfully intercepted 2 Hezbollah explosive UAVs that crossed from Lebanon into Israeli territory earlier this evening. I mean, this is earlier in the day, but I don't know if... I mean, that's from Hezbollah. That's different. It's not direct from Iran.
And as the genocide in Gaza continues, it's now abundantly clear that Israel is the nation most likely to initiate a full-scale nuclear or conventional war in the region. Let's explore the consequences of a war between Israel, Iran, and their respective allies.
They've already been in a conventional war in the region, numbnuts. A conventional war is a non-nuclear war. Are they fighting a genocidal war or not? Is it affecting the region? Did they bomb Syria? Like, come on, bro. Like, so many assumptions have to be made for this type of shit. Oh, they wrote a paper that they did a scientific study on what would happen if. Whoa, crazy. That means it's definitely going to happen.
Definitely must.
Take a quick moment to thank this episode's sponsor, Aura. As you all know, these days a quick and anyone cuts down and the online.
To the top of the hour when there are 3-minute ad breaks that happen at the top of the hour.
And so now Hassan does his epic. Glad they left this
for free. My internet is shut down by doing this.
Consequences of a war between Iran and Israel. The United States Department of Defense conducts virtual and live war games to plan for any number of scenarios. And a war with Iran was simulated in 2002 in an exercise dubbed the Millennium Challenge. The results were interesting, to say the least. The Pentagon asked retired Marine Corps General Paul Van Riper to command the Iranian or Red Forces due to his reputation.
A lot.
They were deciding if they had to go to war with Iran and Iraq at the time, buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Thinking. Faced with the imminent preemptive U.S. attack, Van Riper decided to go on the offensive as soon as U.S. forces, including 2 aircraft carriers, 6 amphibious ships, and
That's true. Maybe just ban Megaphonics during the nuclear holocaust. No more Elon posts. Megaphonics would spend his last moments on Earth still sending me what Elon Musk had to say about the nuclear holocaust. He'd be like, look at this idiot. He doesn't think it's going to happen. Elon just tweeted that the nuclear holocaust is definitely not happening and it's fake news.
The Israeli Air Force flew F-35s to Tehran and back. Actually flew them there and back.
Yep. Today?
Iran did nothing and then fired the Air Force chief and commander of the IRGC.
When was this? Today?
They couldn't see them. No. This is 2017.
There you go.
2018. There you go. And they did it all stealth.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. So that's very interesting. I'm just trying to figure out what the fucking variant is, but I guess it's a unique one.
Yeah. No, so it's the F-35I. So it's specifically made to bomb Iran. That's basically it.
Right.
So it also coordinates. It can their F-16s can refuel it as well.
That's so interesting.
So they can refuel them. I think they have F-15s as well, so they can. But still, the F-35 can do it on one tank.
Yeah.
But if they have more than just because they can carry a single penetrator and hit the target and come back on one tank, but they can obviously take more and get the refuel from the F-16s partially.
Yeah.
In just over Iraq airspace, and then have them hit those targets with fuller payloads. Also, the F-35, unlike other stealth fighters, Iran doesn't have the capabilities to detect it either. They have external weapon mounts that can be used as well.
Yes.
So I think that was a really smart thing to do, to not put it all inside the door like with the Raptor, to have the ability, depending on what type of mission you need it on. It's way more versatile to have those weapon mounts.
You can also drop the fins off the plane once the bombs have been dropped too, or the flight or the fuel tanks have been expended. You can drop it.
Yeah, that's with most things. But the thing is that if you have the anchors that they form I forget what they're called, the anchors you mount the missiles on, right? Those can't they can't get rid of those.
The hard points.
Yeah. So they said that it would be cool to be able to drop the hard points, but then you'd have a loose hard point.
It's a hard problem.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not a huge problem. It's still
We're all about to
do fine.
Yeah.
I love that they're starting this
That's literally what he would
with
do.
the U.S. Navy in like there.
No recent messages. Your YouTube video bomb messages showing an error
Like,
message.
do you remember what
why.
Reagan did to Iran?
Down on him. Van Riper
One destroyed the Navy.
Yeah, like in just like an hour, destroyed 70% of their Navy just to like swing dick on him.
Van Riper managed to sink the entire fleet, including the Marine landing force. The exercise was effectively
never gonna happen. Are we serious?
Wait, why is one of the most popular Twitch streamers a terrorist supporter? Bro, Techno Tapas, you just got banned, and I'm going to unban you real quick because I need you to understand something. I have not defended the terrorist state of Israel. I have not defended the terrorist state of the United States of America. Thank you for also saying that I'm one of the most popular Twitch streamers, because that is still true, despite what my haters say. Techno Tapas is the most Israeli username I've ever heard. Yeah, I know. That's pretty funny. But spiritually, thank you for letting me have an opinion. Of course, you are welcome to.
Why do you leave these in the edits?
He wants to argue with his chat instead of watch the video. That's what people watch this on for.
Instructed Van Riper that
bro, this is the most classic Millennium Challenge memes. Like, what do you mean go back on it? I've talked about it a million times over. If you are even remotely own handicap,
their offensive weapons weren't allowed to be hidden.
You think this exercise was garbage? You think Iran could sink a fucking U.S. fleet? Like, what were they giving him? What cheat codes did he have on for this fucking scenario?
Yeah, there's no way.
Riper was so disgusted with how controllers were running the exercise, tying the hands of his red team to ensure Blue won, that he sat the rest of it out. With these remarkable handicaps in place, the US succeeded in destroying Iran's military capabilities. The exercise demonstrated that the US was inflexible and wasn't able to think quickly in response to the offensive response to the preemptive attack, and that this would not serve the US well in an actual conflict. This simulation, as well as the resistance strike on Israel on October 7th, shows that no matter how much sophisticated technology your military utilizes, innovative warfare combined with adaptability can be just as lethal.
Bro,
resistance strike.
One was a surprise attack, just like 9/11. Okay, surprise attack. The other one was the U.S. going into Iran to initiate the fight. Okay, these are two completely different scenarios. Yeah, the fucking Al-qeada also drove a boat into the U.S. coal, right? And it was fine afterwards. Shut up. This is like, what the fuck did they give that guy to? He was like, I don't want to do the. You won't let me play how I want to play, and it's like, yeah, because you're making up missiles.
Since
like,
even the arrogant U.S. recognizes that Iran is a formidable force,
rule, and it means that like this, and then I win. Okay,
yeah,
child.
basically.
Let's examine their military industry from its early days till today, as it continues to thrive despite heavy sanctions. Iran's defense apparatus began with the establishment of Iran Electronics Industries, or IEI, in 1973.
The argument is that the naval force hitting Iran would be up for a bad time, and like the fact that he's not like arguing from a perspective of like a tactical perspective of how hard it would be to do like a ground assault in Iran.
Into Iran? Yeah, it would be.
A naval blockade is easy for them to fucking throw on
That's
Iran.
why you have 2 carrier groups and you take over the country with the carrier groups, because you can do that. That's the whole point of them. They're floating armies in and of themselves.
Yeah, but it basically, like Afghanistan would be basically the same type of fight. Like it's just, it's just unrealistic to think that a ground assault would be going good. But instead, we're gonna go for the naval, which definitely is where they're the weakest. So there's got to be a catch to why
in the
that guy
decades
was banned from the thing, because he had his hands tied to not be able to win or something.
Since IEI, focused on developing the country's military capabilities, has created many high-quality homegrown weapons. Examples include the Akhdar 7.62mm Gatling gun, capable of firing 4,000 to 6,000 rounds per minute, as well as the Arman anti.
I love the Second Thought boys doing. I love JT doing like Os and Andy shit, but for Iran.
Ballistic missile system, which can simultaneously engage 6 targets from up to 180 kilometers away. There's also the Fatah, a hypersonic ballistic missile with a range of 1,400 kilometers and a top speed of Mach 15.
Hypersonic missiles. They just pulled that out.
There's different things that can be classified as hypersonic. It's not a glide vehicle.
Right, it's just a fast missile.
Yeah, it's probably something that gets to space and then it breaks into the stage for the rocket and does a really fast rocket down.
Yeah.
A staggering 5.1 kilometers per second. Since speeds that high are difficult to comprehend, it would be like flying from the Pentagon to the White House in 1 second, or crossing the Strait of Dover, 32 kilometers or 20 miles wide, in just 6 seconds. As if this isn't impressive enough, remember, all of this is being accomplished under a severe sanctions regime. However, these are the accomplishments of just one company. Iran possesses the largest inventory of missiles in West Asia, with a significant number being ballistic missiles specifically.
His ideology is literally, if it's not America, it's good. That's literally his ideology.
Yeah, he's dumb.
Any scum-sucking piece of shit could tell him, hey, I think America bad, and he would be like, they're great.
It's like, Iran has a lot of missiles. Okay, bro.
Yeah, and how many made it again? The last
time
they
tried? They don't have, they invested in all missiles. They don't have planes that can bomb. They don't have boats that can board. I mean, they have boarded vessels with a helicopter. They just did that today as well. The IRGC sees the ship.
This hasn't been accomplished through the efforts of a single company. As a whole, Iran's defense ministry is focused on developing and stockpiling missile systems, naval platforms, assorted weapons, and air defenses while revitalizing its aging air and ground capabilities. It's geared towards supporting Iran's overall military strategy, which is centered around deterrence and retaliatory capabilities, utilizing unconventional warfare operations and a network of militant partners and proxies.
Retaliatory
but how is it pulling all this off
go today?
Under the suffocating
that sure worked out, that strategy. They retaliated so hard.
Regime. The answer can be summed up in 2 words: reverse engineering. Having been forced to transition away from importing weapons and technology, Iran has become arguably the most successful country at reverse engineering and developing.
China.
its military equipment based on examples of enemy, mostly US, weapons in the field. Additionally, collaboration between Iran and Russia has seen a transfer of Western weapon systems for research and development, enabling Iran to drastically enhance its military capabilities. For example, reports indicate that Iran's successful Sadid 365 anti-tank guided missile was allegedly reverse-engineered from American defense systems. The Ra'ad-2 self-propelled howitzer exemplifies Iran's dedication to maintaining legacy weapon systems through the same reverse engineering, while combining various bits of foreign hardware. And of course, we can't forget to mention Iranian drones, which have been in the news quite a bit due to their use by Russia in Ukraine and resistance groups in and around.
You know what's even better is they are way more expensive than we initially thought.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
it's
just
so funny.
hilarious. So they're not actually cheap at all.
Palestine. Iranian drones have earned their place because of their versatility, low price of manufacture, and effectiveness. They can carry out an assortment of missions, including surveillance,
And it's like,
reconnaissance,
bro, they're
and
like,
attacks.
oh look,
This
we
makes them
got.
an extremely valuable
He showed
asset
the
for
reverse
Iran, since they don't
engineered
have
beast
a
of
traditional.
Kandahar, right? Like, oh shit, we got a beast of Kandahar. Crazy. I mean, those were relevant a decade ago, huh?
Yeah.
Air Force with fighters and bombers. Additionally, the country has emphasized its goal to improve the accuracy,
It's kind of fucked up. They have no respect for copyright. No respect whatsoever for copyright. You see this?
lethality, and over-the-horizon capabilities of its drones. But Iran hasn't just been building weapons and drones. They've also built state-of-the-art bases from which they can conduct their operations. Recently, Iran unveiled one such structure to the world, the Parchin Underground Facility. Located approximately 20 kilometers southeast of downtown Tehran, the Parchin facility reflects Iran's efforts to significantly enhance its homegrown military capabilities. While the work that goes on in the facility is not publicly available information, we know it's connected to
the craft that they reverse engineered, like for years in Kandahar. Like it got the name Beast of Kandahar because it was like rumored for years.
What was?
The drone that they copied, right? So it's this one. So it literally used to be a UFO. You can find them testing it in like by Nellis, right? It's just a reconnaissance vehicle. It doesn't like carry anything. But so like this, you know, like there's one that we can kind of see from like, you know, so it's still like pretty rare, right? And Iran's version, first of all, they made one that's called the Shmegma, but like, look at this shit. Like it's got like basically like that is laughable. That is is that a fiberglass like body or something? Like that looks like shit, bro. And then China also made their own based off of the Iranian copy of the drone.
The Bentleys of drones, and he calls the Bayraktar the Toyota. Very reliable and very affordable. Bayraktars are like the Toyotas of UAVs.
Larger Parchin military complex.
I would probably go to say they're the BYDs of UAVs. There's probably a better comparison. Toyotas are actually pretty good.
It's believed that the complex includes a large network of tunnels which might allow for additional military modalities not before moved underground, such as supply chains, which are otherwise vulnerable to attacks.
We got nukes that can take out all that shit, though. Years and years of work down the drain. Hell yeah, brother. That's right. Let's go nuke them. Let's go Duke Nukem mode. Fuck it. YOLO.
The Parchin military complex is most notable for being the hub of Iran's nuclear science and defense technologies. While Iran does not possess...
To be honest, I think they're a paper tiger, and it's all just posturing, just like Saddam used to in the past. We were pretty panicked at his chemical weapons here, and it turned out they literally had nothing. Do you see the Iranian protests and who support Israel being mad at Israelis for posting about... Wait, what? I don't even understand that. We'll see. As far as the paper tiger thing goes, we'll see. I don't think that they are that much of a paper tiger, considering that, like...
That's nuclear.
Well, that's because you're an idiot, but sure.
Of Hezbollah, like their support for Hezbollah has led to strategic W's for Lebanon in general. You know what I mean? What are you doing, King? How are you? Türkçe yazıyorum, cevap yok. Cevap yok. İngilizce yazıyorum, yine cevap yok. Amına koyayım, 22.260 tane insan var burada. Ne?
But more importantly, by Iranian-backed groups in conflicts across West Asia, most notably by Lebanon's Hezbollah and Yemen's Ansar Allah. However, the scope of their use in modern warfare...
That's why it's important to understand, like, when we say paper tiger, like, even through proxies, Iran has been able to definitely
helping.
Launch a decent amount of counters to Israeli action in the region.
Warfare can be seen in Syria, where Iranian
counters,
drones, missiles, and small arms have been used
responses,
extensively in the Syrian civil
They
war
didn't
to support
counter
Assad
shit.
and other pro-government forces. Iran has
No,
provided
it's just like a limp-wristed response.
Bro, they constantly get spanked on the fucking border between Iraq and Syria.
Yeah.
military aid to the Syrian government and deployed its forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, in the conflict. It can also be seen in Yemen, where they've supplied Ansar Allah with drones and ballistic missiles. These weapons have been used in attacks against Saudi Arabia, and more recently, in attacks on any ship attempting to do business with the Israeli colonial project. In Iraq, militias have been equipped with Iranian air defense systems and small arms, and have used them in the fight against ISIS and in other internal conflicts. And last but not least,
Iran captured the RQ-170 in 2001. When did they roll out their first drone? Produced in, like, it says first flight 2014. Okay, so 2014 and 2016 is when they had their first flights. And then if you look here, so as of 2019, there have been no images or statements released, but growing evidence points to the existence of the RQ-180 and its use in regular frontline service. The use of the nickname White Bat in a 2021 video released by the U.S. suggests that they're preparing to release information on it. So the Iran literally got the model that we built 20 years ago. And so this one that we have that came out in 2010, introduced in 2015, you want to know why they're like predicting that they're going to make it public like they do with the RQ-70? Because they have an RQ-190.
They got a better one.
Yeah. Like, oh no, they captured like a fucking thing from 2 generations ago.
least, in Lebanon, several varieties of rockets with differing ranges and capabilities have been used by Hezbollah against Israel and other regional adversaries. One variant, the Haseb rocket, has a range of 8 to 10 kilometers and an 8 kg high-explosive warhead, and is modeled on the Chinese Type 63 multiple rocket launcher.
I was about to
with
say,
such a short range, these are best used against ground
Chinese things in
forces.
fucking Afghanistan against the Soviets.
The Ra'ad or Thunder rockets are wire-guided anti-tank missiles based on the Soviet 9M14M Malyutka and have a range of 3.
Today, you know a missile's good if it looks like a boat.
It's a fair point. All the good missiles do look like boats.
350 kilometers, roughly the distance between Washington, D.C. and New York City.
LOL.
The Fajr, or Dawn rockets, actually comprise their own family, with the 3 major types being a long-range missile with a range of 180 kilometers, a 240mm artillery with a range of 43 kilometers, and a 333mm multiple rocket launcher system primarily used to support ground troops, strategic strikes, and for their psychological impact given the volume and intensity of the bombardment they can unleash. Lastly, the Zelzal, or earthquake rockets, are the longest range of their non-hypersonic boosters with a range of 200 kilometers, or roughly the distance between LA and San Diego.
That's all Iran has ever pushed. It's like, we can just launch a bunch of shitty stuff and overwhelm you. Oh, we failed. It was too shitty.
Comes in 2 variants, the 2 and 3. The Zelzal 3 is a guided missile, and must be launched using a specialized transporter erector, and are used as general artillery shells. The Zelzal 2, on the other hand, is an unguided truck-launched rocket primarily used against armored vehicles, including the Israeli Merkava main battle tank, and buildings occupied by infantry units. The rocket delivers a massive 600 kg payload. Iran's arsenal of homegrown weaponry is formidable. With all this firepower, it's not hard to see why the U.S. lost so badly in their simulation.
This is funny because
since any
this is
war
all
waged
playing up
Israel
like
is
how
also
Iran
a war
is
against
totally going to use these missiles to kick Israel's ass. Like, God, you could not have looked more stupid releasing this video right before that happened.
This is so funny. So funny.
Did you notice Hassan's eating?
Yeah, because he doesn't give a shit.
The United States, and since the U.S. is still the sole world superpower, we should unpack
what
the
it's
cost
not.
of the war would be to the U.S. and by extension,
it's
the world.
Literally not.
In order to keep this in line with most projections, we're going to assume conventional, not nuclear warfare, as do all of our sources. It goes without saying that any nuclear exchange would cause immeasurable damage and suffering for decades, possibly centuries. So let's start with the raw dollar amount, if only to show how futile it is to even attempt to nail down actual figures. A full-scale U.S. invasion of Iran has been estimated to cost $1.7 trillion, according to a report by the Federation of American Scientists. This includes expenses
You
related
could
to
say
troop
the
deployments,
Holocaust has
equipment,
caused that much
logistics, and
damage.
other
You know,
military
there's like that
expenditures.
type of damage.
Note that
Sure.
this is just for the invasion
You know,
Yeah.
generational damage of losing so many lives. I guess you can frame it that way.
of the country.
He's trying to
It says
Hindenburg.
nothing about
Oh,
any
the
long-term
humanity!
presence, which is nearly impossible to quantify given the number of unknowns. Fully estimating the cost of a U.S. war with Iran not
You have
only
no
includes the
idea
immediate
what you're
expenses of
talking
military
about.
operations,
It's just
but
so
also the long-term
embarrassing.
costs associated
At
with
least have
post-conflict
some
reconstruction in both
humility.
nations, extreme damage to the U.S. economy, and the untold loss of life. The monetary cost would easily run into the many trillions of dollars, straining the U.S. economy and
damage to the
hyper-focusing U.S.
economy
spending
when
on the
the
military
Arabs
even more than
completely
it already
gain control of OPEC. That will happen. It will definitely be bad for the economy in that case.
does, possibly to the point of completely giving up its responsibility to other vital areas, such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Unfortunately for the rest of the world, a lasting conflict with Iran would have wide-ranging implications for the global economy. It would lead to broad economic and financial shocks that would significantly worsen with time and conditions. The resulting collapse of Iran's economy would see a reduction of the global GDP.
Not participating on the global economy, dude.
No, they're literally not. They're isolated from it.
The only thing they have is like some oil sales to China.
Yeah.
That would be immediately picked up by other people where China would have to pay more. So benefit again for the GDP is what it's looking for me. And I'm talking about global domestic product there.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're gonna come at me with their fucking
which doesn't sound like much,
Dell
but would be
Intel
a tremendous
processors
shock.
from
But prolonged
1992.
conflict would create unprecedented uncertainty in global financial markets, leading to increased volatility in stock prices, exchange rates, and commodity
no,
markets.
it would not.
This uncertainty would shake investor and consumer confidence to the core.
This is why I said time and time again, this is why I keep saying time and time again, and I will continue repeating this throughout this weekend most likely, that there's a limit to the chaos from the perspective of capital owners. All the way until the tipping point, capital owners will make money, okay? But beyond that tipping point lies too much chaos and too much volatility where the systems collapse. And there is no more money to be
where
made.
capitalists make the most money?
Global
Where
economic
bombs
growth and leading
don't
to a
fall.
slowdown in business expansion and hiring. The world economy is highly reliant on key trade routes, particularly in the Strait of Hormuz.
That's why they want Ukraine to surrender all the fucking capitalist investors so they can fucking go get insurance to fucking carve out
Such
the
disruptions
East.
would lead to supply chain failures, ballooning
Oh
shipping
my
costs.
god, bro. Here we go. Here we go. Big boat block the thing. Then we're fucked. Big boat just needs to block the thing.
Proxy conflicts, as well as prompt Iranian missile strikes and other attacks on U.S. allies in the region. The economic impact of a conflict with Iran would extend beyond direct financial costs. It would lead to the...
My own university has disinvited a Jewish American philosopher, Nancy Fraser, of taking up a professorship because she spoke out against the killings in Gaza. Absolutely shameful. Dude, I think people don't understand. The Western world doesn't give a fuck about Jews, okay? They care about Israel as a strategic entity. Like, that's why the broadest coalition of pro-Israel sentiment comes from
they care about
rabid anti-Semitic country.
Their allies
Jews
as strategic
who unironically
entities.
think Jews have horns and tails and shit. The white evangelicals in these goddamn mega churches in the South. The broadest coalition of pro-Israel sentiment is not amongst the American Jews. It is evangelical Protestant Christians for theological reasons. Okay? Those motherfuckers don't like Jewish people. They're like, yeah. Like the Balfour Declaration, they're like, yeah, let God sort them out over there in the desert. I don't want to be around Jews. They have horns. Send them down to the desert. That's their take. That's it. That is precisely why. Do Israelis know this? And do they care? No, they don't. I don't think they give a shit. I think many people don't know this, okay? There's a multitude of different reasons, okay? Most conservatives don't like Jews. They just hate Muslims more. There's that, okay? Obviously, they hate Muslims more than they hate Jewish people, so there's that. That's a big role as well. Some see it as a bulwark, like some see Israel as like the only power to like combat the Islamic hordes, and many also have a Armageddon theological justification for Israel's existence. They believe.
Oh my god, the amount of people who like follow this rhetoric, and he always has to bring this up. The amount of people who actually believe this type of shit, bro, is so minimal. The reason why people support Israel is because it's in our state's interest to do that. So that way the state apparatchik, like New York Times, who justified the Iraq War, remember that, Hassan? These institutes, you know, they're beneficial to just tell the American people, well, these Hamas guys are terrorists. Look at October 7th. And people don't have any critical thinking. They're not analyzing the situation or looking at it in a way that's Armageddon-esque or whatever.
They just see the lobbying money and be like, oh, that's why.
I mean, that's part of it too. But it's also within our interest.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be.
We did this, like we're going to pretend that this didn't happen with Saudi Arabia. When we were fucking dumping money to them. At least we were a little bit more strict on, what they were doing.
Didn't help, but
could have been a lot worse. Could have been what Gaza looks like. But it was years.
Occupy Israel permanently, that the Armageddon will happen. The rapture will happen. Jesus Christ will come back. The second coming will happen. And Jesus will fight the devil.
He really thinks that,
Megiddo.
A majority of the country
like it's a
thinks this,
anime,
and that's why
myself,
Israel is
but
being
that
backed.
is the real reason.
Like, touch grass, dude. Talk to normal people. Go outside. Twitter is not a real place, bro.
And there are tens of millions of these people that genuinely believe this. It sounds so stupid. And you know what happens to the Jews in that process when the rapture happens? They also burn in hell, unless they convert to evangelical Christianity, of course. So it's not like it's not like these guys are fond of Jewish people at all.
Deaths of an untold number of innocent people. Trade agreements would be destroyed, and global geopolitical dynamics would
What
be
trade
unrecognizable.
agreements?
If you're a U.S. citizen, you may well ask, what could we get instead of a costly, unnecessary war with Iran? Well, we're glad you asked. According to a study by the Political Economy Research Institute, Medicare for all would cost approximately $37.8 trillion between 2017 and 2026. That would be approximately $3.78 trillion per year. While that is a lot,
doing a healthcare program in this country would save money. This is such a bullshit of, this is why we don't have healthcare. You don't have healthcare because the insurance companies pay for the politicians' pockets, right? That's why. It has nothing to do with our fucking bombs. We can do both. We can totally commit genocide all around the globe and still give our people healthcare like the Nazis did. Like, it's such an idiot fuck. Like, the entire argument for going for this healthcare system is that it would save money. And now we want to, and whenever there's a bomb, suddenly it's like, oh, the only reason we don't have it is because we don't have the money for it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You've always had the money for it. The money can literally be created. You can literally start capping the insurance companies too. Like, it's so stupid.
Start capping drug prices? So drug companies can't charge
Which
you
we have
10
been
times
doing, but it's not like we're getting close. And like, also, like, even Obamacare, right? Like, the state has made money off that too. There's just still too many people. And it's like, it sucks, but guess what? Who gives a fuck? It's like better than nothing. Shut the fuck up.
U.S. citizens spent $4.3 trillion, or $12,914 per capita, on healthcare, which doesn't cover everyone and severely underinsures most of the rest. In fact, you could add free college, which would only cost a comparatively tiny $680 billion per year, and still spend less money than Americans spent on healthcare in 2021. That is obscene.
Bro,
the bottom line is,
crazy. You mean that it would actually save money, so your entire point of comparing it to bombs was pointless because it would literally save like $100 million even with free college? Crazy.
It was mid-COVID. He used mid-COVID statistics to inflate the number of medical cost.
And guess what? It was still saving 100,000. Or 100 million.
Yeah. So he used artificial numbers.
You literally can't make it cost money even on the worst year.
Yeah. He cherry-picked. He cherry-picked numbers to make it even worse, and it still didn't work. Hilarious.
Vast, unprecedented wealth on, then more wars. If the US were to allow Israel to drag it into a conflict with Iran, it's probably safe to say, without hyperbole, it would be the end of the world as we understand it.
Oh my fucking god.
Episodes like this one are made possible thanks to our generous patrons on Patreon.
Wait, what? A government, especially an authoritarian one? America's so authoritarian, they're going to jail us on any day now? I have no power. I am, as it stands, not a threat. By the way, this new line is so incredibly stupid. Wait, what? Eduardo, authoritarian governments jail average Joes. Okay, then America is an authoritarian government, dumbass. The fuck kind of argument is this? They jail average Joes on a daily basis. What are you talking about? That's all we do. It's pack watch if you're broke. Born in the wrong neighborhood, going to jail. Not for criticizing the government, though. Okay,
True.
First of all, the American government does lock you in jail in spite of the First Amendment if you do actually threaten American State Department power. If you threaten America's State Department interests, if you threaten America's power, you will get arrested. Hello, look at Edward Snowden. Why the fuck does he have to live in Russia?
Treason is a punishable crime, Hassan. Correct, bro. Yeah, First Amendment doesn't exist because Edward Snowden committed treason. After being clearly told that it would be treason. Like, so he made his choice.
Yeah, he did.
America periodically, in times of
literally
war,
one of the most
jailed
transparent
many
countries.
Conscientious objectors.
America, yeah.
You literally have people criticizing Joe
the
for
only
Palestine stuff on
countries
Twitter
that are
getting
like
visited by
more
the feds on-
transparent are like smaller countries. Like I'm sure New Zealand, you can figure out anything.
Yeah, sure. Well, like a small island nation.
Well, just even like Euro countries, you know? Like I'm sure some of those Nordic states, like the government is an open book because they're not actually doing shady shit.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about the United States. We are doing shady shit, and you can just force them to be public about it as a journalist. It's fucking dope. The press protections that we can export to people in these countries that Hassan thinks have it just as bad, you know, that are equivalent to us, just because we have an crazy high incarceration rate that needs that's a separate issue that needs to be an issue, you know, along with the healthcare is an American issue.
And this is why I want this nonprofit to be based in America, and this is why I was keep trying to explain to people that it can't be in any country other than America, because there is no country with the protections over speech like America.
The shit that we're eventually going to be doing, like you look at China, you know, China's going to how long until they fucking put a thing, like basically a, you know, a warrant out.
Oh, I already probably couldn't go to Hong Kong.
Oh, no. I mean, like, they put a warrant out, like, you know, like other, like, regimes will do that. Like,
yeah.
Put warrants out for
that'd be cool. I'd ring them. I'd be like, can you send me a poster, please? Can I have one? I want to frame it.
Yeah, there's also that too. You know, we haven't gotten to the you're going to get arrested.
Yeah.
Like they did with fucking Jake in Turkey.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But as long as there's, America there, should be easy to rectify. And that's why, because and Assange is a perfect reason why Australia should never be a place where you put a journalism outfit.
Well, then also, let's
look at Assange.
I'm not planning on really going to these countries, so it's like I'm safe here, but also like that's one of the reasons why I like we operate so many like shadow networks already.
Yeah.
And like we already like keep people like they won't be able to find out anything about the people they actually want to know about because we don't even take their first names and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
which is the whole idea. But yeah. And it's working. It's working out.
It could be better.
Need more time.
Bested like it's Nazi Germany era yet, but we're coming at it.
Fudge was talking the other day about how
America's not authoritarian.
You know, like actually doing like streams on gaming on the weekends and stuff would be helpful to reach normies. But like I tried to play Helldivers and it just wouldn't connect and it pissed me off, so I stopped. I wait for hours to get a game started and then it's an awful team after like tons of disconnects. So I'm like done. Fix the game and then I'll fucking play it.
Fair enough.
Or once somebody organizes to play with me.
After the stream finishes, I'm going to call the place that I ordered the capture card from because I looked at it yesterday and it said that it would come in 2 days if I had ordered it today. I ordered it on the 4th.
Now watch this drive.
Which is now 12 days ago. Right? 12 days ago. I'm going to call them. Where the fuck is my thing? And get that sent out to me immediately and then I'll be able to stream on weekends. But it could work.
It would have been better if we were actually like in like a good communication and planned out. Like
Oh, wow.
I did a game with Vanka and somebody else. I think it was Jared, and like it was just the three of us, and literally we would like go in and like hit this outpost, and they wouldn't even detect us, and we would just be like boom, boom, boom, boom, took out the everyone in the outpost, and it was just, and I was like, this is fucking awesome, just like straight Splinter Cell shit. And I was like, I was telling him like that's the type of shit we like want to get on stream because that's like entertaining.
Yeah. Well, there's like 20 seconds left, so pick a soundbite.
Oh, okay, sure.
You dirty bitch!
I look forward to actively engaging civilians.
Civilians were killed, and that's what we're going to continue to try to do.
Thanks for watching.
It would be constitutional for the government to target and kill any U.S. citizen with a drone or with a shotgun without due process.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?